In the last class, we have discussed about the construction of stator and rotor. So here, in this is the stator part. This is the stator part. In the stator, which type of winding we are taking? Anyone? What is the type of winding you are taking in stator? Three-phase star connection, and this
Yes,
is
sir.
the okay. See here, we are having three windings. Primary winding is connected to three-phase induction motor. Secondary winding is connected to three-phase induction motor. Okay. Okay. See here, we are having three windings. Primary winding, three windings in the rotor. This is secondary winding, and secondary winding is rotating because rotor will rotate in the three-phase induction motor. Principle is same, mutual induction. When you give supply voltage, current will pass in these three windings. Around the current carrying conductor, magnetic field is developed due to its own current. Part of this flux is linking with the secondary coils, and EMF is induced in the rotor winding, that is armature winding. Okay. In squirrel cage, rotor bars are permanently short circuited, but in slip ring, we can add the external rheostat for starting purpose, starting of three-phase induction motor. This is about the construction of stator and rotor. Already have discussed about the rotor. Rotor is of two types. One is what are the two types?
Squirrel cage.
Squirrel cage and
Slip ring.
slip ring. Slip ring is also called as phase wound or wound rotor. Okay, that's what we have discussed. Now here, when you see the operation, sorry, 1 minute. If you see the operation here, how many here a three-phase winding, primary winding is connected to three-phase supply. How many fluxes are developed in these three windings?
3.
How many? Three fluxes. Phi 1, Phi 2, Phi 3. Let us take the resultant of these three fluxes. I am telling now. Write down this formula. In exam, they'll ask for 2 marks. Here are the resultant of these three fluxes I am telling. Here we are having Phi 1, Phi 2, and Phi 3. The resultant of these three fluxes, Phi R. Resultant of these three fluxes, Phi R, Phi 1, Phi 2, Phi 3. These are the three fluxes. See here, Phi 1 is 0 degrees. Phi 2 is 120 minus 120. Phi 3 is plus 120. If you take the clockwise direction, 0 minus 120 minus 240. If you take clockwise direction, 0 minus 120 minus 240. Total 360 degrees. Okay. If you take anti-clockwise, 0 plus 120, 0 plus 120 plus 240. Already in three phase we have seen. And if you take the resultant of these three fluxes, phi 1, phi 2, phi 3, phi r. Phi r is equal to 3 by 2 phi m. You have to write in exam, you have to write phi r is equal to, in exam they'll ask for 2 marks. What is the resultant flux developed in the stator of three phase induction motor? You have to write 3 phi r is equal to 3 by 2 phi m. No need to write sin omega t plus j cos omega t. Write only 3 by 2 phi m. Phi r is equal to 3 by 2 phi m. Write down the question. The resultant flux is constant magnitude and does not change with time. So write down the question. What is the resultant flux in three-phase induction motor? Write down for 2 marks. What is the resultant flux in three-phase induction motor? You have to write 3 by 2 phi m. What do you mean by phi m? What do you mean by phi m?
Magnetic flux.
Phi m is the maximum flux. Okay. See here. Resultant flux is constant value phi r, that is equal to 3 by 2 of phi m. 3 by 2 means 1.5 time. If you divide this 3 by 2, that is 1.5. 3 by 2 phi m, 1.5 times the maximum value of the flux due to any phase. We are having 3 phases. So 3 by 2 of maximum flux. The resultant flux rotates around the stator at synchronous speed given by these 2 points are important. How the resultant flux will rotate? With the speed of ns is equal to which one? Phi r. Phi r will rotate with the speed of ns is equal to 120 f by p. Write down this formula. Ns is equal to 120 f by p. What is this ns? Ns is called synchronous speed. Ns is called the synchronous speed. Okay, remember this value. Phi r is equal to 3 by 2 phi m. For 2 marks they will ask in exam. So this is about the stator part. In stator, this is the speed. Now we'll discuss actual speed of the rotor. Actual speed of the rotor is n. N is called actual speed. Suppose if now we'll define one formula that is called slip. Write down slip. Side heading slip. Write down slip. Slip S is equal to ns minus n by ns. S is equal to ns minus n by ns. Percentage slip means multiply with 100. Slip formula is ns minus n by ns. If you take percentage slip, we have to multiply with 100. Write down this formula for slip. Why slip concept is coming here? Why slip concept is coming here?
Slip ring.
Okay, because here actual speed is not equal to synchronous speed. If both are equal, slip is 0. If actual speed n is equal to ns, that is the synchronous machine. But induction motor is an asynchronous machine. Ns is not equal to n. If both the speed, this is the designer speed, synchronous speed. This is the actual speed of the rotor running in our lab or in our house, whatever it may be. N is the actual speed of the rotor. Rotor I am telling. N is the actual speed of the rotor. Ns is the synchronous speed of the rotor. See here, the difference between ns and the actual speed of the rotor is known as slip. Divided by ns. What do you mean by slip speed? How much slip is coming? Ns minus n is the slip speed. Slip is ns minus n by ns. Slip speed means the difference of ns minus n. The difference of ns minus n is called slip speed. Have you written this formula? Slip.
Yes, sir.
And also write slip speed. Suppose ns is 1500 rpm. ns is 1500 rpm. N actual speed is 1400 rpm. What is the slip speed?
Ns minus n.
Okay, 1500 minus 1400, 100. 100 is the slip, 100 rpm is the slip speed. Now, from this formula, determine n value, cross multiply this. Can you cross multiply? S into ns is equal to ns minus n. Bring ns to this side. Then we'll get n value. From this formula, we'll get n value. N is equal to rotor speed. Rotor speed means actual speed of the rotor. Actual speed of the rotor is n. From this formula you derive. You will get this. Derive it and see. Cross multiply this s into ns. Bring n this side and sns this side. Take ns common. If you take ns common, n is equal to ns into 1 minus s. Actual speed of the rotor. N formula. From this formula, you are getting this. From slip formula. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the actual speed. N is called actual speed of the rotor. N is the actual speed of the rotor in terms of S and NS. Okay. These three formulas you remember. One is slip. Second one is slip speed. N is the actual speed of the rotor. N is called actual speed of the rotor. Okay. This is the concept about slip. You can read this thing in your textbook also. Now come to the frequency. We know the formula. Ns is equal to 120 f by p. Already had discussed this. Synchronous speed. Ns is equal to 120 f by p. And write down one more formula, F dash. When the rotor is running, F dash, what is the actual frequency? That is equal to slip into F. Write down this formula also. Actually, derivation is there. This derivation not necessary. Directly write the, from this derivation, you'll get this formula. F dash is equal to SF. What is this F dash? See here. Rotor currents having a frequency of F dash. When the rotor is running, F dash. When the rotor is not running, F is the frequency of the supply. F is the frequency of the supply. And F dash is when rotor is running. F dash is the frequency when rotor is running. F dash is equal to S into F. S is called slip. F is the frequency of the supply. F is called frequency of the supply. Note down this formula. This formula is also used in the problems. F dash is equal to S into F. Okay. Then we'll do one problem. See here. See the first problem. A slip ring induction motor runs at 290 RPM. Runs at 290 RPM. What is this 290 RPM? N or NS?
N.
It is N. Okay. This is N. When connected to 50 Hz supply. F is 50. Write down. Note down the page number. First of all. Page number 1255. Page number 1255. In the page number 1255, first problem we are discussing. A slip ring induction motor runs at N is equal to 290 at full load. When connected to frequency, F is equal to this much. Determine the number of poles and slip. Actually, he has to give NS. He has to give NS. In the problem, they have not given NS. Take NS is equal to 300. Since N is 290 RPM, NS is to be somewhere near it. They are assuming this, but in the exam, they will give. In this problem, data is missing. NS has to be somewhere near. NS is equal to 300 RPM. Take down. NS is equal to 300. But in exam, we should not assume. They will give. NS is 300. N is 290. Okay. If NS is 300, what is the formula for NS? What is the formula for NS?
N into S by P.
120 F
M by P.
P. Frequency 50 they have given. NS we are assuming 300. Divide by P. From this you will get P. From NS formula you will get P. NS is equal to 120. Frequency 50 they have given. Divide by P. P is the number of poles. P is 20 poles they are using in the three-phase induction motor. Poles means north pole, south pole, north pole, south pole. Like this, 20 poles they are using. North pole is 1, south pole is 1. Like this, 20 poles they are using in this three-phase slip ring induction motor. From this formula, we are calculated P. And what else he is asking? Determine number of poles and slip. What is the formula for slip? S is equal to. What is formula for slip?
NS minus N by NS.
Okay. NS minus N by NS. NS is 300. N is 290. Divide by NS, 300. Slip we are getting 3.3%. 33% slip is 3.33. Okay. Otherwise, slip we will get 0.0333. If we calculate this, we will get 0.003. We will get 0.00333 like this. If you multiply with 100, we will get 3.33. Calculate and see. If you are having calculator, you can calculate and see. Percentage slip they are taking here. 10 by 300. 300 minus 290 is 10. 10 by 300 is 0.0 something will get. Okay. Multiply with 100, you'll get this much. Any doubt in the first problem? Okay.
No, sir.
Now come to the next problem. Example 34.3. See the problem. Read the problem. Please read the. Don't write. Read the problem. Already soft copy is with you. Read the problem. What is P here? What is P value? 4. Three-phase induction motor operates on a supply whose F is 50. Calculate the speed at which the magnetic field of the stator. Stator is rotating means ns. Rotor is rotating means n. Remember, stator is rotating means ns. Rotor is rotating means n. Now, what is the formula for the speed ns? 120f by p. They have given frequency. First bit I am discussing. Magnetic field of the stator. If it is rotor, it is n. If it is stator, it is ns. Please remember, if you want to write note, you can write note. If they are asking about the magnetic field of the stator, the formula is ns. If it is the rotor, it is n. ns is equal to 120f by p. Frequency 50 they have given. Poles is 4. So we have got ns is equal to 1500 rpm. This is the first bit. Now what is the second bit? Speed of the rotor. First bit is speed of the stator. Stator is ns. Speed of the rotor means anyone?
N.
N. So what is the formula for n we have discussed? What is the formula for n? Speed of the rotor. N is equal to, write down this formula. N is equal to speed of the rotor. N is equal to ns into 1 minus s. From this formula you have got. N is equal to ns into 1 minus s. Write down this formula. See here. Second bit he is asking. Speed of the rotor n when slip is 0.04. So s is 0.04. ns we have calculated 1500 rpm. N is equal to ns into 1 minus s. ns is 1500 we have calculated. Speed of the stator. ns is speed of the stator. N is the speed of rotor. S is 0.04. If you calculate this, you will get 1440 rpm. So ns is this one. Actual speed of the rotor is 1440 rpm. Okay. That is second bit. Any doubt in the second bit?
No, sir.
They'll ask very simple problems. They will get easily 2 marks. Sometimes they'll ask this entire problem for 5 marks. Next, frequency of the rotor currents. When slip is, now slip in the previous case, slip is 0.04. Now in the third bit, they are taking slip is 0.03. And we know the formula for frequency of rotor currents, F dash is equal to SF. F dash is equal to SF. S is 0.03, you have to take. 0.03, frequency is 50. So F dash value is 1.5 RPS. 1.5 RPS. Revolutions per second. If you want to convert into minutes, what will do? This is revolutions
60.
per second. If you want to convert, multiply with 60. Multiply with 60. It will be converted into minutes. Now last bit you see. Frequency of the rotor currents at standstill. First of all, you should know what is standstill. What do you mean by standstill? Rotor is standstill. What is the meaning of rotor is standstill? Rotor is not running. Write down. Standstill means, write down the note. Standstill means rotor is not running. Write down. Rotor is not running. Standstill means rotor is not running. If rotor is not running, what is the actual speed of the rotor n? What is the value of n if rotor is not running? Zero. Speed into 0. Rotor run avukunte speed ఏమవుతుంది n value? Is it 0? 0. N is 0. Stand still. Rotor is standstill means it is in not running condition. N is 0. Suppose if N is 0, what is slip? S value?
1, sir.
Ns by N, Ns 1.
NS
Write
by
down.
NS.
Okay. Write down. At standstill, N is 0, S is equal to 1. Write down. At standstill, N is 0, your N is 0, and S is equal to 1. And S is equal to 1. This you should remember. If you know the concept, you can remember this. Right on. At standstill, S is equal to 1. He is asking frequency of the rotor currents at standstill. F dash is equal to SF. Substitute S is equal to 1. F is 50. F dash is equal to SF. He is asking frequency of rotor currents at standstill. At standstill, S is equal to 1. F dash is equal to 50. F dash is equal to S is 1 means F. F is 50 hertz. That's all about the problem. Okay. Next problem. A three-phase induction motor is wound for 4 poles. Write down P is equal to 4, F is equal to 50. P is equal to 4, F is equal to 50. What is synchronous speed? Ns is equal to, this
120
is the
F by
first,
T.
120 F by P. We know frequency and poles. P is 4, F is 50. We will get 1500 RPM. Next, this is the stator speed. Next, rotor speed. Rotor speed when S is equal to 4%. We know the formula. N is equal to Ns into 1 minus S. Ns is 1500 we have calculated. S is they are giving 4%. Next, last bit. Rotor frequency when rotor runs at 600 RPM. So we know Ns 1500 RPM and actual speed of the rotor he is giving N is equal to 600 RPM. First calculate S. S is equal to Ns minus N by Ns. Ns is 1500 minus 600 by 1500. What is the slip? 0.6. S is 0.6. Then he is asking rotor frequency. F dash is equal to SF. S is 0.6 multiply with 50. We'll get 30 hertz. Sir. Go through the problems what we have discussed now. I will be back by 2-3 minutes. Okay, sorry. Any doubt in these 4 problems?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll go to the one important topic, next topic, torque. Write down the torque side heading, torque. Formula for torque directly I am telling. Derivation is not in your syllabus. I'll tell the formula, you write down that. Write down this formula. One second. One minute, wait. Okay, write down this. Torque tau is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns 3 by 2 pi ns E2 square R2 by R2 square plus X2 square. E2 square. E2 means rotor EMF. First of all, listen. E2 is the rotor EMF. What is E1? E1 is,
Stator.
but you don't want E1 or R1, all those things, because rotor is running and EMF is induced in the rotor E2. That's why I am taking only E2, R2, X2, Z2. And R2 is the resistance of the rotor winding. X2 is the reactance of the rotor winding. The combination of R2 and X2 is Z2. Z2 square is equal to R2 square plus resultant is Z2. Hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. Z2 square is equal to R2 square plus X2 square. If you bring square to this side, that is Z2. Z2 is equal to square root of R2 square plus X2 square. And we know E2 and Z2. Then current is equal to voltage by impedance. Current I2 is equal to voltage by impedance. Actually, this derivation is not there. For your understanding purpose, I am explaining. We want only final formula. But listen, I2 is equal to voltage by Z2. E2 by, what is the formula for Z2 is square root of R2 square plus X2 square. I am substituting Z2 is equal to square root of R2 square plus X2 square. Okay. This is the I2 formula. This is the current I2. Now cos phi 2. Now can anyone draw, first draw the triangle. What I am telling you, draw. On x-axis draw R2. Please draw in your notes. X-axis take R2. X-axis take R2. Y-axis take, what will take on Y-axis? What will take on Y-axis? Y-axis. X2. Resistance on the x-axis, because Z2 is equal, right on first, Z2 is equal to R2 plus JX2, right on. Z2 is equal to R2 plus JX2. Right on. Z2 is equal to R2 plus JX2. R2 on x-axis plus J means 90 degrees. X2 on y-axis. Z2 is equal to R2 plus JX2. Take R2 on x-axis. On y-axis, take X2. What is the resultant of R2 and X2 on hypotenuse?
Z2.
Z2. On hypotenuse, take Z2. Now take phi. take phi there. In the right angle triangle, take phi. Angle phi. You know how to take the angle phi. Already I have told in single phase. Now from that, what is cos phi 2? Take phi 2, that angle is phi 2, sorry. Take that angle as phi 2 in the right angle triangle. Now tell me what is cos phi 2 from that?
R2 by Z2.
R2 by Z2. Same thing he had written here, see here. Cos phi 2 is equal to R2 by Z2. R2 by square root of Z2 is square root of R2 square plus X2 square, because hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. Your Z2 is this much. Now stand still. In stand still, what is the value of S? In problem we have done. Stand still, what is this? S is 1. Therefore, torque is directly proportional to K1 is constant. We'll remove proportional distance. I am placing constant K1. Torque is proportional to E2 I2 cos phi 2. Torque is proportional to E2 I2 cos phi 2. You have to remember this formula. Voltage is E2, current is I2. Angle in between E2 and I2 is phi 2. Phi 2 is the angle in between E2 and I2. Phi 2 is the angle in between E2 and I2. Now we know E2. E2 as it is I am keeping. I2 is E2 by Z2. E2 by Z2. Cos phi 2 is R2 by Z2. Multiply all this. K1 E2 square. E2 into E2 is E2 square R2 by square root of this, square root of this. Square is square and square root will be cancelled. You'll get R2 square plus X2 square. R2 square plus X2 square. This is the torque equation. See here, K1 is 1 by 2 pi ns by 3. 2 pi is one cycle. Why I am taking ns by 3 here? Ns by 3 will come to numerator. Yeah, why I am taking ns by 3? Why I am taking ns by 3? Because we are having 3 phases. 3 phases we are having. K1 value is 1 by 2 pi ns by 3. 3 will come to numerator. Therefore, K1 value is 3 by 2 pi ns. K1 is 3 by 2 pi ns. Remaining as it is, E2 square R2 by R2 square plus X2 square. This is when S is equal to 1. Starting torque. During starting, your rotor is in 0 position. Now, when rotor is running, you have to consider S. See, when we consider when rotor is running condition, previously we had taken standstill condition. Standstill condition N is 0, but in running condition slip is there. In running condition, we'll get S here. Torque formula I write down. What are I am telling? 3 by 2 pi ns S E2 square R2 by, write on this formula. I am showing with the cursor, right on this. During running condition, T is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns K1 value. This is 3 by 2 pi ns S E2 square R2 by R2 square plus S X2 whole square. Before, for reactance, S is there. For reactance, S is there. Here, S is there. This formula is very important. These derivations are not important. This formula is important. Based on this formula, next topic I will discuss in the class. Write down this formula. T is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns S E2 square. E2 is the voltage of the rotor. R2 is the resistance of the rotor. X2 is the reactance of the rotor. Okay. Sx2 whole square. This formula, please you remember. Based on this formula, in your syllabus, one topic is given. That is called, I will tell. This one. Relation between torque slip. In exam, they'll ask for 5 marks. Draw the torque slip characteristics. This is the torque slip characteristics. In the next class, I will discuss this. Torque slip characteristics. How we got this? From the formula, what we have discussed. Torque tau is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns S E2 square R2 by R2 square plus Sx2 whole square. What are the formula? Torque slip characteristics we'll see in the next class. But you have to remember this formula, what I had told now. Torque tau is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns S E2 square R2 by R2 square plus Sx2 whole square. In between slip and torque, what is the relation? In the next class, we'll see. Based on this formula. This formula derivation not important. Only formula is necessary for you. What is the torque of the three-phase induction motor under running condition? Under running condition, slip will come. Under standstill, slip is 1. S is equal to 1. But in running condition, when rotor is running, slip concept will come. Torque is equal to 3 by 2 pi ns S E2 square R2 by R2 square plus Sx2 whole square. Please remember this. Have you written this formula? Okay. Remember this formula. In the next class, I will discuss the torque slip characteristic. It is there in your syllabus. This is very important. They will ask for 5 marks in exam, in university exam. Relation between torque and slip. We have to draw the torque slip characteristics. On y-axis, we are taking torque. On x-axis, I am taking slip. On x-axis, one more is taking, that is speed. But only torque slip is necessary. In between torque and slip, what is the characteristic? We'll draw these characteristics in the next class based on this equation. Okay. I'm stopping the class here. I'll take the attendance, wait for some time. Eight is present?
Yes, sir.
13?
Absent. 15 also there.
1 minute, I'm noting.
13, 15,
13, 15?
24, 27.
24, 27. Thank you. Okay, now we can exit. I have taken the attendance.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.